It's 6 a.m. in northern Tanzania. An old woman, maybe 65, is already 3 kilometers from camp. She's not hunting. She's not resting. She's on her knees, digging a root out of rock-hard soil with a wooden stick, sweating, alone. Her own children are grown. She has no reason to be working this hard, except she is. And by the end of today, you'll understand exactly why. Because what she's doing turns out to be one of the reasons humans live as long as we do. This video is a full day in the life of a hunter-gatherer camp, hour by hour, using real data from anthropologists who lived embedded in these communities for decades. That woman digging alone at dawn is going to come back. What she's really doing won't make sense until we've walked through the whole day around her. Here's one preview to pull you through. When scientists strapped monitors onto hunter-gatherers to measure exactly how much energy their bodies burned in a day, the number that came back broke an assumption almost everyone makes. We'll get to it in a few minutes. For now, the day is just getting started. You wake up on the ground, not in a bed. There's no wall between you and the sound of the camp waking around you. Kids arguing, a fire being restarted from last night's coals. There's no morning meeting, no assigned schedule, but there is information moving fast. Someone tracked a duiker near the riverbed. Someone else says the baobab pods further west finally dropped. Within 20 minutes, your day has been decided. Not by you alone, but by a dozen quiet conversations you weren't even part of. Splitting up starts almost immediately. Men, in groups of 2 or 3, will range widely, sometimes 15 kilometers in a single-day tracking game. Women organize differently, smaller groups, closer to camp, built around who's carrying an infant and who isn't. And a few, like the woman from the opening, go out alone further and don't come back until the sun is high. This isn't random. It's logistics, and logistics fail constantly. Among the Hadza, hunters bring home large game on somewhere between roughly 1 day in 30 and 1 day in 100. Researchers have put the real number as low as 3% and in some analyses under 1%. Once a month, if you're lucky. Once every 3 months, if you're not. Most of us plan our day around a calendar notification. They plan theirs around a stranger's footprint in the dust, knowing full well it might come to nothing. By mid-morning, the camp has essentially split into 2 economies running in parallel. A high-risk, high-reward search for meat and a low-risk, high-reliability search for plants. Both matter equally. Neither is a backup plan for the other. And here is the number promised a minute ago. A 2015 study measuring actual energy expenditure in Hadza foragers, using the same doubly labeled water method NASA uses to track astronaut metabolism, found something researchers did not expect. Despite walking farther, digging harder, and carrying more than the average industrialized adult, their total daily energy burn was statistically no different from yours. Not lower. Not dramatically higher. The same, their bodies weren't burning more fuel for a harder life. They were burning the same fuel, just spent completely differently. On their feet, in the sun, instead of in a chair, under fluorescent light. You're not less active than an ancient forager because you're weak. You're the same engine, running a completely different route. By midday, both economies are producing something, but not the same thing, and not at the same rate. The men who left before dawn are still out. Some tracking, some already eating whatever they've caught right on the spot. The women closer to camp are coming back in waves with baskets of tubers, berries, and baobab. On paper, this looks unbalanced. Meat feels like the prize. Tubers feel like the backup. That assumption is about to get complicated. Here's the part that resolves it. In many camps, meat supplies the overwhelming majority of daily protein, As high as 96% of it on the days a kill actually comes in. That's not a small edge. Calorie for calorie, meat wins, and it isn't close. But on the days a kill comes in is the entire story. A kill happens once a month if you're lucky. Tubers happen today, and tomorrow, and the day after that, whether or not anyone connects with an antelope. Meat is the windfall. Tubers are the floor that never disappears. A camp that only ate when hunters succeeded would starve in the gaps between kills, so the steady, non-glamorous digging isn't competing with meat for importance. It's the thing that keeps everyone alive long enough to be there for the 1 day in 30, when meat actually shows up. That's the actual division of labor. Risk versus reliability. Running side by side, with food shared across the whole camp. Try telling your coworkers that whatever's in your fridge belongs to the whole office tonight. None of this was a lifestyle brand. It was survival, and survival has a body count. Infant mortality was brutal by modern standards. A failed hunt could mean days without meat. Injuries that would be a same-day surgery for us could be permanently disabling or fatal out there. But the system built around that danger wasn't naive optimism. It was a working solution to a genuinely hard environment. By late afternoon, the camp starts pulling back together. The men return, some with meat, most without. The women come back the heroes of the day, more often than not. And the woman from this morning walks back into camp too. Hours after everyone else, she's carrying more than almost anyone. In the 1980s, an anthropologist named Kristen Hawkes went to study the Hadza. She noticed something that didn't fit the model at all. The hardest working foragers in camp, putting in the longest hours, digging the toughest, deepest tubers, weren't the young mothers, they were grandmothers, women well past their own childbearing years, with no more babies of their own to feed, out working longer days than almost anyone else in the band. Why would they invest maximum effort into food for children that weren't theirs? Hawkes cross-referenced foraging hours against child growth curves. The pattern was undeniable. When a mother had a new baby, her older children's growth didn't suffer as long as a grandmother stepped in. The tubers those grandmothers dug were subsidizing an entire generation. That observation became the foundation of the grandmother hypothesis. The idea that human menopause itself and our unusually long lifespan evolved because older women feeding grandchildren made every surrounding family more successful. She's one of the reasons humans live as long as we do at all. As the light fades, conversation shifts entirely to stories, myths, and jokes around the fire. Fire created a kind of time with no task attached to it. Time to sit with what the day actually meant. Tonight, she'll eat what she dug up 11 hours ago, surrounded by people who are alive partly because of her. Tomorrow, she'll do it again, still the most important person there.